Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Game Things. I'm your host for the week, Ming, and today we'll start off our episode by talking about the most recent Nintendo Indie World Showcase, featuring over 12 indie games coming to Nintendo Switch from 2023 to 2024. So, in general, to sum it up, there is really not too much hype about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase because the games aren't exactly spectacular, but the one that is most noteworthy is a title called Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution. So, what exactly is this title? It's basically a remaster of a really old Game Boy game called, well, Shantae. Basically, a very old game that was waiting for a very long overdue sequel. So if you actually enjoyed Shantae back then I would say this game is something that you want to look forward to when it's released, but if you have never played the game before, you can basically skip past this entire showcase. There really isn't too many interesting things. There are a couple of interesting puzzle, open world type of games, but overall I would say nothing too crazy and it's basically a pass if you ask me. Now, on to stuff that are slightly more interesting, we have stuff like Arcane. So, Arcane has been confirmed to be released in November 2024, and Riot released a really short teaser of the Arcane release date featuring Jinx. But if you ask me, I watched the little teaser and there really wasn't much. It's basically just Jinx carrying fish bones after what ended in, well, season 1 of Arcane. So yeah, overall there really wasn't much shown at all, and fingers crossed, I really hope that Arcane 2 will be as good as Arcane 1. Speaking of the League of Legends universe, the World Championship of League of Legends will be happening on the 19th of November, so if you are interested in competitive League of Legends, be sure to take note of the date and maybe give it a watch. Then next, we'll talk about Assassin's Creed Mirage. So Assassin's Creed Mirage, which was released recently, is gonna get a new Game Plus mode and an optional permadeath mode, which is really cool because it kind of makes sense from a lore perspective, whereby if you're playing as an assassin and you actually get caught trying to assassinate people, you're basically dead. So lore wise, I think it's actually really accurate, and it's pretty cool to have a permadeath mode for Assassin's Creed. I've never thought of it ever happening before. So yeah, it's a pretty good spin, and if you want to enjoy a really tough challenge, maybe give it a go. Then we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League releasing a 20-minute gameplay footage as well as some behind the scenes footage. Personally, I am not ecstatic about this 20-minute gameplay and behind the scenes footage at all because Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was originally supposed to be released last year and it basically shit the bed when they released their first gameplay trailer. Now, the brand new gameplay trailer is alright, it's not bad, it's alright, but would I play it? I'm not convinced at the moment, so yeah, maybe we need to see a bit more, then I'll consider. But for now, it's still a hard pass for me. But if you are interested in Arkham Knight-esque games, I'm sorry to tell you, but Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is not one of them because it's going to be a looter shooter game. So yeah, if you're looking for Arkham Knight type of games, you're better off just playing Spider-Man 2 that was released recently, unfortunately. Then we have Tekken 8 revealing their brand new character called Reina, the Purple Lightning. So Reina is in general a pretty cool character. I saw her design. She's very modern. She wears like a cool jacket and just looks like a young girl. Yeah, that's basically it for my take because I don't play Tekken. I don't really know the movesets of Tekken, so I can't comment too much about it. But yeah, if you are a Tekken fan, you would definitely want to look at this trailer and, well, figure out more about this brand new character. Then, the next thing we'll talk about is about Warhammer Quest, which is being delisted from Steam on the 12th of December, but will remain available on GOG. So, if you want to get the game on Steam, be sure to get it right now before it's delisted and gone forever from Steam. Now we move on to some game delays. So Sony has delayed half of its 12 planned live service games, with the reason being to ensure games are enjoyed and liked by gamers for a long time. Eh, Personally, I think them delaying stuff is honestly fine because I personally don't really enjoy live service games too much. So yeah, I'm perfectly okay with them delaying stuff just to refine it more and release at a more proper state because let's be real, with how the gaming industry is currently, we always see games being released in its incomplete state, and sometimes it's really frustrating as a gamer, whereby you spend a good chunk of money to just get an unfinished product. So yeah, it's good to see that some developers are pulling back a bit and making sure that they actually produce quality content before releasing it. Now, let's talk about some games that you can get your hands on right now and try out. First, we have Persona 5 Tactica, available on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Persona 5 Tactica is exactly what you would expect, a Persona game which is a tactics-based game. So think stuff like Final Fantasy Tactics, Fire Emblem, yeah, a turn-based strategy game, but based on the Persona IP. So if you enjoy games like this and you enjoy the Persona IP in general, as well as the general Persona story, then you will definitely enjoy Persona 5 Tactica without a doubt. Then next, we're going to talk about Remnant 2, The Awakened King DLC. So like most DLCs out there, the Awakened King DLC will include brand new story, brand new roles, brand new enemies, brand new weapons, the absolute usual. But what makes this DLC good is that it's built upon a very good game. For players that actually played Remnant 1 and actually played Remnant 2, you guys don't need me to convince you at all that Remnant 2 is a great game and any DLC that comes out with it is definitely enjoyable. I mean, my editor can vouch for it. He played Remnant, he enjoys it. Same goes for our other host's show. He also plays Remnant and he enjoyed it as well. So yeah, it's basically vouched by us, and I would say that it's a good game that you don't really need to be convinced of, and in general, it's just worth playing it out. Then next, I'm gonna talk about Super Mario RPG, available on Switch. So Super Mario RPG is basically the remake of the SNES Super Mario RPG. So of course, as it's a remake, it has some new features, brand new updated graphics, new soundtracks, but aside from that, the story is basically the same. So all in all, if you actually played this title back in the SNES era and you just want to replay a good old classic game, Super Mario RPG is definitely the right choice for you. If you have never played Super Mario RPG either, it's actually worth picking up because it's a generally just pretty good game with solid characters, a solid story, and just generally a good time. But if you are going into the game looking for massively new mechanics like Super Mario Bros. Wonder, then I'm sorry to say that Super Mario RPG does not give you that because it is at its core an RPG game and it does not have crazy mechanics that were just newly launched on Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So yeah, be sure to take note of that. But in general, still a great game. I'm not selling it short. It's still a great game, and you can definitely spend a good amount of time enjoying it. Then the last and final title that we'll be talking about this week is Flashback 2. Flashback 2 is a really interesting title. It's a 2D based shooter type of game that is based on a futuristic world, but at the same time, it also has certain 3D aspects to it on certain segment of the games. So it kind of creates a pretty unique experience when you're playing the game because some moments it's 2D and some moments it's 3D. And in general, based on what I saw so far, it's pretty unique because the concept itself, aside from being futuristic, also features aliens that are hidden in modern day society. So it's a bit of espionage in a way. So yeah, pretty unique, pretty different, and pretty interesting overall. So the game is available on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, Switch, and PC if you are interested in trying out Flashback 2. Then we move on to our last and final segment, free things. So this week, Epic Games Store is giving out Earthlock as well as Surviving the Aftermath. Earthlock being a fantasy RPG game, while Surviving the Aftermath is a base building game. So yeah, if you are interested in those two games, be sure to check it out and pick it up while it's still available. Then for all you PS Plus subscribers, you guys will be getting Mafia 2, the definitive edition, Aliens, Fireteam Elite, as well as Dragon Ball The Breakers. So all these are slightly more popular titles that I will not touch upon too much in detail. So Mafia 2, as you would expect, is, well, a Mafia game, whereas Aliens Fireteam Elite is a game somewhat similar to Left 4 Dead, where instead of shooting zombies, you're basically shooting aliens. Yeah, that's about it. Pretty straightforward. Then for Dragon Ball The Breakers, it's a rather interesting game because think of it like Evolve, where one person plays as a big bad guy, whereas the other players kind of play as survivors that want to escape from this big bad guy and complete the objective. So yeah, somewhat similar to Dead by Daylight, but it's not like the survivors are completely hopeless. They can kind of fight back, but not exactly like Evolve either, where you can outright just kill the monster. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting game, Dragon Ball The Breakers. If you just want to look for something that is slightly different, I would definitely suggest trying it out because it's really, really unique. Yeah. And that's basically it for this week's episode. Once again, I was your host Ming. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you guys next week on another episode of Game Things.